Welcome to Easy Go Guide. My name is Anup Chandran, and today we are starting our book review series. This is episode 1, and the book's name is Alchemist. This story is about Santiago, a shepherd who lives in Andalusia, Spain. He used to dream about a girl that he once met in Tarifa, and once again he was traveling to the same place. On the way, when it was very late, he decided to take rest inside a church, a deserted church. So he kept his sheep inside and he was lying down outside the church. There's this old sycamore tree. So he just lied down beneath that tree. That's where he got a dream of having a treasure somewhere in pyramids in Egypt. He was startled and he got up and he was wondering that how is it that he's getting the same dream every now and then. So he decided to decode this dream and he went to an old lady who was more like a dream interpreter. The lady told him that he will definitely tell or explain about his dream if he agrees to pay 1/10 of the treasure that he's gonna get. Santiago was wondering, there's no harm in giving 1/10 if there is such a treasure available. So the old lady tells him that the treasure story is very much true and the dream is going to be happening in real. So he has to follow his passion. Santiago wondered, this is like a very generic thing and anybody could guess that. So he sat on a bench nearby and he was wondering whether to go for it or not. That's when suddenly an old man appears out of the blue. He introduces himself as Melchizedek, the king of Salem.
Before we proceed, I would request you to read my first book, The Secret Cosmic Button. If you wish to learn how to practically use the law of attraction, or if you wish to learn how to achieve true happiness, then this is the book for you. The Secret Cosmic Button is available for purchase in Amazon. Link is given in the description.
Looking at his appearance, Santiago just ignored him because he looked very poor to be a king. Melchizedek started speaking about his dream and told him that what he saw in his dream, the treasure, it's actually true and he has to follow his dream. He somehow convinced Santiago to sell all his sheep and get some money to travel to Egypt. Santiago, being convinced, started to follow his dream. Thus, his journey began. Santiago reaches Tangiers, a city in Morocco. After reaching there, a young guy befriends him and steals all his money. So he is completely devastated with no money at all in hand, and he doesn't even know how to survive or how to go ahead. That is when he meets a merchant who's selling crystal glasses. He requests the merchant to give him some food. Instead of that, he is going to clean all his glasses. So the crystal merchant agrees and Santiago cleans all his glass, and that's how the sales increase in the shop. So the merchant decides to give him a job and pay him as well. That's how he gets a job. He starts earning money from there, and Santiago uses different ideas to sell the crystal glasses, and he successfully does it and earns a lot of money from there for him as well as the merchant. That is when he remembers his dream and he decides to continue his journey. There he hears about a caravan that is going to start its journey towards Egypt, which goes through the Sahara Desert. In the caravan, he meets an Englishman who is in the journey to meet an alchemist. He explains what an alchemist is. He tells Santiago that alchemist is a person who can convert any metal into gold. They become good friends and they continue their journey. In between the journey, they hear about a war being broke out in the desert. So the people in the caravan decides to halt in an oasis called as Al-Fayoum. They decides to stay there for a few days till the war is over. But they are not sure when the war will get over. It can take weeks or months or years. So Santiago was a bit upset, but Englishman had come to his journey to meet the alchemist who is there in this oasis. So Santiago decides to help him and they meet a lady near a well. This lady's name is Fatima. Looking at her, Santiago fell in love, and since then, every day he goes near the well to meet her or to see her. Then one day, sitting in the oasis, looking towards the desert, he gets a vision that there's gonna be an attack in the oasis. He got afraid and he runs towards the commander general. He tells him the entire story that there would be an attack in the oasis, so we need to be careful. The general unbelievably tells him that we will be prepared for the war, but if there is no attack in the oasis, then we are gonna hang you. But then, to their surprise, there happens an attack in the night. But because they were prepared for this attack, they win. For this, the Commander General decides to give a lot of money to Santiago and also appoints him as a counselor for the oasis. So Santiago wonders, I've got a job, I've got money, and I've got my love, so why not settle here and marry this girl, Fatima? That is when he talks to Fatima, and Fatima tells him that no love will make anyone sacrifice their dream. And this is the same thing that the Alchemist tells. The same evening, Alchemist comes in a hurry to meet Santiago and tells him that he has to continue his journey now. So that's how the journey continues, and in between the journey, some goons in the war, they captures them and they takes all their money, and then they were about to kill them. That's when the Alchemist tells them that, okay, listen, this guy has got some skills. He can convert himself into wind and can blow your entire camp, so beware. Listening to this, the goons actually starts laughing and takes them to their camp, and the commander over there tells them that we are giving you 3 days to convert yourself into wind. If this boy doesn't do that, we are gonna kill you both. So Santiago, in a complete distress, tells Alchemist, what have you done? You have got us into trouble. How can I convert myself into wind? Alchemist pacifies him and tells him, just relax. You do not need to worry. You just have to understand the language of the desert. Just observe and learn the language of the desert. For 2 days, Santiago tries literally everything, but nothing happens. On the 3rd day, the day of the judgment, Santiago tries real hard to understand the desert. That's when suddenly a storm comes and he converts himself into wind. And he destroys a lot of tents in the camp. That is when these people, the capturers, they actually let them go, and then the Alchemist and Santiago reaches a monastery where the Alchemist converts a metal into gold and gives him half the piece and tells him to continue his journey. Santiago then reaches the pyramids. He starts digging. It digs a pit trying to find the treasure, but there's nothing to be found. Suddenly, out of the blue, there's this 3 people who comes and starts hitting him. They take away all the money this kid has and ask him and interrogates him to tell them exactly what's happening. Why are you digging a hole here? That's when Santiago tells the entire story, and one of the guys starts laughing and tells that this kid is mad, so let's leave him like this. And while they were going back, that guy just realizes and turns towards him and tells him, why are you so stupid? You came all the way long just for some dream. You're so stupid because I also had a dream. I saw a dream that there's a sycamore tree in Spain in front of an old church, and I saw that there is a huge treasure over there. I'm not crazy like you. Follow this dream and cover such a long distance. Listening to this, Santiago is completely surprised, and now he knows exactly where the treasure is. It is where he had actually started. So that's how he goes back to Spain. He goes in front of the sycamore tree. He gets all the treasure from there. As promised, he gives 1/10 of the treasure to that old lady, and then he decides to settle down in the oasis Al Fayoum with Fatima. And that's how the story ends. Highlights of the book is definitely the dream that he gets and how he decodes that dream. One lesson that we all can learn from this is there is never a straight line. There can never be a straight line. You might be following a dream, you might have a vision for yourself, but it's not going to be an easy one. There will always be ups and downs, and how Santiago overcomes all those obstacles to reach to that dream. This is what is the summary of this book. I would like to rate this book 4 out of 5. Thank you for watching EasyGo Guide. If you do like my videos, I would really request you to subscribe the channel, because that is how we creators are gonna be benefited. And do like and share the video if you loved the content. Thank you so much.